Tonight on DC News Now, a northeast earthquake felt in parts of the DMV. People's reaction. And President Biden in Baltimore visiting the collapsed Key Bridge. His plans to support the community.
Conditions are finally set to clear out as we head into the weekend. We'll let you know if we start to warm up as we go through Saturday and Sunday.
And how to keep your eyes safe during Monday's solar eclipse.
They are definitely not just your typical sunglasses.
A local eye doctor has the do's and don'ts if you plan to take a peek. Plus, from what's on the shelf to what's behind the freezer doors. We're stretching your dollar at the grocery store, finding you the best prices in order to save you the most.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
And thank you for joining us for DC News Now at 5. I'm Mark Hall.
And I'm Annalisa Gale. Developing now, a 4.8 magnitude earthquake hitting the Northeast today, and it was quite the wake-up call for those in cities that usually don't feel them very often.
Our Kevon Dupree got reaction from those who felt the earthquake here in the DMV, and he joins us now in studio. And Kevon, a lot of reaction coming in, even here at home.
Abigail Legister is a nurse practitioner in Germantown. She says as she was finishing up with one of her patients this morning, she suddenly felt the room start to shake. This morning, a rare occurrence in the Northeast. An earthquake rattling the region.
It's been a very unsettling day to say the least.
Experts say the quake reached a 4.8 magnitude. Neighbors in New York City sharing what they felt.
I was just laying in bed and suddenly it pushed me to the side, and I thought, oh my God,
We felt the floor shake, and I said, what is that? We're not over the subway. And she said, oh, I wonder if it was a quake.
The effects felt a long way from the epicenter near White House Station, New Jersey. Health workers say they felt the quake from their office in Germantown, Maryland.
While I was finishing up with one of my patients, I felt the office shake, but I didn't think much of it.
Legister says she feels fine since the earthquake, and now her main concern is making sure her family members who live in the Northeast are okay.
I've been in touch with them and everyone is okay, thank God. And just nervous of the after effects, aftershocks. My aunt was saying that could be possible.
And that video in that story there from a home in New Jersey. Now, the survey reports that over 42 million people might have felt the rumbling from this morning's earthquake. Reporting in studio, I'm Kevon Dupree, DC News Now.
All right, Kevon, thank you. Let's get out to our Brittany Ward now to break down what exactly happened earlier. Brittany.
Yeah, very rare, Mark and Annalisa, for us to see a 4-point magnitude earthquake here across the Northeast. In fact, we have seen about 4.5 magnitude earthquakes since 1915. 13 of them have been recorded. So yes, it was a very shock to the system. So right now, what we are looking at is that epicenter. Overall, this is about 30 miles north of Trenton, New Jersey. Now, like you saw or like you heard just a few minutes ago, there have been people across much of the Northeast who have felt tremors from this morning's earthquake. This map in the blue kind of shows you those reports of people feeling that shaking early this morning. And now the next thing we're going to be keeping our eye out for is any aftershocks as we head into the next couple of days. So we'll definitely keep you updated. But right now, I'm going to send things back over to the desk.
All right, Brittany, thank you. A live look outside in Roslyn. And Annalisa, have you ever been in an earthquake?
Actually, I experienced the one a few years back in D.C. I was on Howard's campus. Yeah, it's definitely something that's never in your bingo card. You're never ready to hear about an earthquake, and it's definitely frightening when it's happening. But right now, really sunny outside on this Friday, thankfully drier than it was earlier this week.
Let's head out to meteorologist Damon Matson, who's shocked by nothing. Damon, how are things looking?
I don't know. That's a bold statement, my friend. I mean, definitely shocked by a few things here and there. But overall, this weather pattern is looking up for us, folks, as we go into the weekend. And that shaking you saw on our live camera, by the way, that's just the wind, as it is very breezy as we remain on the edge of that same storm system that has been causing us headaches throughout the entire week. We're still dealing with that. Now, down near the D.C. Metro, we have some sunshine mixed in with the clouds. Thankfully, though, like we were mentioning, it's not raining, but out across some of our western counties, some rain showers are still persisting. And in the mountains, yeah, there's still some snow falling out into Garrett County. How about that? Now here's a good look. Again, those rain showers thankfully are already starting to dissipate. We're only seeing some light rainfall just outside of Warrenton along the I-66 corridor back towards Strasburg, Stevens City, and Front Royal. There you have those lighter showers across the Shenandoah Valley. But that's it. We're going to be done with this activity that is lightening up already as we go over the next few hours. But we still have the wind to contend with, and it's going to feel quite chilly as temperatures out there right now are already down into the lower 40s to the west, and temperatures are dropping back down toward the lower 50s to the east, including in D.C. So yeah, gear up if you're going to be going out and about here for your Friday evening. Maybe got those Friday night plans later on. Those temperatures will be on the chilly side. The showers, they will wrap up, but we are still going to be dealing with breezy winds as we head into the day on Saturday. Just how much longer is it going to remain breezy, and do we see these temperatures finally climbing up over the next couple of days? We'll have a full look at your forecast coming up here in just a bit.
All right, Damon, thank you. Well, developing now, hundreds of parents, teachers, and early childhood advocates are protesting against the mayor's proposed multi-million-dollar budget cuts.
Yeah, a lot of concerns, Annalisa. They're worried because we're talking about $300 million is on the chopping block for early childhood education. Our political and government reporter Leonard N. Fleming joins us from the Gompers Park, where a rally was held earlier this morning. Leonard, what are you hearing from early childhood educators?
Mark and Annalisa, there is great concern. And there were many who rallied right here in this park several hours ago in protest of the mayor's budget cuts. And these early childhood educators, they tell me they want the mayor and city council to back down and restore these proposed cuts.
It's devastating to the educator.
Kathy Hollowell-Mako leads the D.C. Association for the Education of Young Children. She's worried about city officials eliminating the Early Childhood Educator Pay Equity Fund.
Prior to the passing of the compensation, which is the pay parity fund, the average child care teacher made about $31,000 in the District of Columbia, which is far below a livable wage in the district.
D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser on Wednesday says the fund, which offers money to teachers and caregivers, must be slashed to cut millions to balance the city's budget. Ironically, a D.C. early education conference was held in the district Friday, and the cuts loomed over the attendees, many say.
We're really disappointed that the mayor made this choice.
Rakaya Anbar Shaheen is the director for early childhood for D.C. Action, who opposes the cuts. She attended Friday's rally.
I think that she talks a lot about shared sacrifice. We can be more thoughtful, we can do better in terms of setting our budgets and setting our priorities.
For them to go backwards in that means that they're going to quit the field like what we saw pre-pandemic.
Jamal Berry is the CEO of Educare DC, which is an early Head Start provider in DC.
There's going to be higher call-outs, there's going to be less interactions with children, and we also will not be able to recruit high-quality teachers into the field, which was the whole point of pay equity in the first place.
These early childhood advocates, they're hoping to appeal to City Council, who will be having multiple hearings coming up here in the next several weeks to decide on these proposed cuts. Reporting in Samuel Gompers Park, Leonard N. Fleming, DC News Now. Back to you.
All right, Leonard, thank you. In Virginia, former service members who suffered permanent mental and physical injuries from their time in action say that the Commonwealth is turning its back on them. Virginia native Christian Solda was injured during a 2017 tour of duty with the U.S. Army in Iraq. He was given a 100% disability rating by the Army. That meant that Solda's kids and wife were eligible to take part in the state program allowing family members of disabled veterans to pay for college in Virginia with a full tuition waiver. However, language in the state's budget could change that, requiring the families to apply for financial aid and potentially pay some out-of-pocket before being allowed to use the waiver.
We're telling veterans that have ultimately given their youth, given their bodies to the security of the nation, thank you for what you've done, but we don't want to be the first in line to thank you for that. We want to be the last in line.
Governor Youngkin has the power to veto any part of the budget he doesn't like. We asked his office if he planned to use that power on this language. A spokesperson said that the governor is still reviewing all aspects of the budget.
Also, right now, April is Autism Acceptance Month. One mother in Alexandria is now speaking out after living her worst nightmare.
Well, her nonverbal autistic 4-year-old ran away from school and was found blocks away.
Northern Virginia reporter Haley Milon now spoke with her about why she's not sending her daughter back to school until she gets answers. Haley, what happened there?
It was such a distressing situation on March 19th. Brianna says she went to Jefferson Houston Elementary School to pick up her daughter, Riley. Riley is 4. She's autistic and nonverbal. And that afternoon, she was nowhere to be found. And now the mother just wants answers.
These 4 years have been, the best years of my life, just being a mother. So for her to, be lost.
For Brianna Davis Suggs, raising her daughter Riley has been filled with joys and challenges. Riley is a nonverbal autistic 4-year-old enrolled in pre-K at Jefferson Houston Elementary School in Alexandria up until March 19th. That day, when Brianna went to pick up Riley, she lived her nightmare.
I hear her over the walkie-talkies like, there's a child missing, not even knowing it was my daughter.
Riley somehow escaped from the school's fenced-in play yard unnoticed by any adults, making it 3 blocks from the school, winding up at the busy and noisy King Street Metro station. A bus driver spotted the child and stopped traffic.
Got off the bus, went to her rescue.
Police reunited the mother and daughter.
I'm afraid for my daughter to actually go to school.
Brianna hasn't sent Riley to school since. She's found other schools and programs have jam-packed waiting lists. In an email, the school principal wrote that administrators are working with CPS to create safety protocols. None of that gives Brianna peace of mind.
So know that she was here, and buses are one of her biggest triggers. It really saddened me.
We took Brianna's concerns and her questions to the school division, but the school division has yet to respond. In the newsroom, Haley Milon, DC News Now.
All right, Haley, thanks so much. Well, in the district, a new health headquarters has opened in Ward 8. It's located at Reunion Square in Anacostia. That new headquarters will have around 700 employees. The move is part of the mayor's efforts to create more government agencies in that region. Now, Bowser says the new location will help people get to the right care in time.
When we have investments in our families and housing and neighborhoods, that's also the best investment that we can make in their health.
Now, the project cost the city nearly $50 million.